So, what exactly we're going to discuss today? Introduction about the different clouds. You might think like that yesterday only we discussed about the introduction about the different clouds, right? Like public cloud, private cloud, and when you talk about public cloud, Azure Public. When you talk about private clouds, we discussed about Azure cloud that is created for especially for US government, that is created especially for Azure government, Germany, and Azure China, right? In the same way, we need to discuss elaborately about the different clouds like public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So for that, we're getting introduced today actually. It's not the complete discussion I say, but we're getting introduced. And apart from this one, we are going to discuss about something called cloud deployment models. What exactly are the cloud deployment models? The spelling might be wrong, but it's not the deployment modes, it's the deployment models actually. Okay. And after the discussion of these, I would like to get something from you done for this batch. So what exactly are those? We'll be discussing. After that, our practical journey is going to start from today itself. And here we are going to practice the sessions in a two-way mode actually. One thing is in the class we are going to do practically, and after the class you need to do practically on your own organization basically. Basically, Azure DevOps organization is free of cost for lifetime. Okay, but with terms and conditions apply. Once you are done with the creation of the organization account, we are going to create a project. Here, you might get a question like, why do we need a project when we have an organization? The reason is simple hierarchy. That's it. The reason is, even though if you create a Azure DevOps organization, until unless you are going to create a project, you are not supposed to make use of, you are not getting make use of ADO basically. Azure DevOps organization basically. Okay. So once we'll be done with the creation of the organization account and once we'll be done with the creation of the project, there are a couple of things in terms of URLs to be remembered for life when you want to be part of a DevOps team that specially uses the Azure DevOps portal. So after these things, we are going to get introduced about the services those are being offered by Azure DevOps organization. So once those are introduced, we'll be going through the basic component tour of three different criteria. The first component would be of Azure DevOps organization, second would be of project, and third would be of user profile. Where exactly the first two, you can refer like that, like the importance that you need to know of the first one is accurately as the second and the accurately as the third as well. The three component tools have a similar impact on the responsibilities delivery of a DevOps person who is part of the Azure DevOps team actually. Am I clear? Or any questions about this agenda of day two?
Regarding this
Yeah,
one,
all clear.
sorry.
Sorry, I lost. I think a couple of members are speaking at the same time. So can you go by one, please?
Yeah, I will continue Mani first then.
Okay.
Yeah, Mani, and here you are saying that lifetime free, right? As per now, lifetime is free. Yeah, is there
Hmm.
any intentions for that one DevOps things are like that?
Yeah, that's why I told na, like lifetime is free, but with terms and conditions apply. So what exactly terms and conditions we'll get to know in the coming classes.
Okay.
I can say simply one thing. When I created my first radio in the 2018, I was able to use all the services relentlessly, basically completely free. But later in the 2020, they introduced some limitation, and in the 2021 they introduced some limitation. So what exactly are the limitations? How exactly are the services was offered earlier? We are going to discuss, and we are going to have a session on the same. Don't worry. And if you want to know like what exactly are going to be restricted, or what exactly are going to be limited for public users, basically for free users in the future, those details also we can get. Let us see how in the coming classes. Okay, yeah. So if somebody asks you like what are the different types of clouds, the basic answer is public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, right? But what are the limitations and any specific reason that private clouds are being built or hybrid clouds are being built? Why not everybody should use only public cloud? The first answer is, you know about China, right? China doesn't want to get China doesn't want to allow the data flow outside of China regions basically, unless until the companies are following a strict guidelines, or unless until, China doesn't at all allow the data to be transferred outside of the China regions basically. In the same way, China is restricting the data to be flown. In the same way, European region also implemented a rule that is called GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation Rules. So GDPR, according to GDPR, European region will allow the data inflow and outflow, but the user should be accepting the consent. Other than this, Germany requested Microsoft Cloud, or Germany ordered Microsoft Cloud, that no data should be stored of outside users or outside of the world other than Germany in the Germany regions. So that's why Microsoft built a private cloud for Germany, a private cloud for US government, a private cloud for China basically. So public cloud means anybody can access the URL, anybody can access the cloud, anybody can do anything in the cloud that is offered to the public. Private cloud means the cloud that is specially created, the clouds that is specially organized, the clouds that is specially managed for a specific company, specific region, or specific people as well. So when you ask for the examples for public cloud, you can say like Microsoft Azure, Azure Public Cloud, and Amazon Cloud, GCP, all those things. To be honest, I'm not sure about what exactly what can be the private clouds of the other cloud providers. I know about Azure private cloud only, and those are three, like Azure cloud for US government, Azure cloud for Germany, Azure cloud for China. Then, okay, we got to know about the public cloud and the private cloud. What exactly the hybrid cloud? So, is the combination like public and private? Can anybody get well guess?
It's a combination of
Yes,
private plus
Yeah.
public.
So, you are going to say like hybrid cloud is the public and private combination, right?
As per my knowledge, I'm also thinking same thing.
no
Yeah,
money. It's a combination on-prem and public cloud. Also, yeah, cloud or
Okay. So, yeah, can I please go on mute, please, everybody. Okay. Hybrid cloud can be called as the combination of public cloud and private cloud. And hybrid cloud cannot be called as the combination of public cloud and private cloud. Both are true and both are wrong. The reason is simple. Hybrid cloud means the first understanding should be like the extension of the services those are getting or those are implemented to the on-premises to the public cloud. In this case, hybrid cloud should be referred as the combination of the cloud that is implemented or the combination of the services being offered by the on-premises environment and the public cloud. Suppose your company has set up data center or the services for at least 5,000 users. Due to the ongoing demand, you wanted to extend the data centers that's being offered, that's being established by your company, right? But as you heard about the cloud and you wanted to extend your services, you don't wanted to go for any on-premises implementation anymore. In this case, you will be you'll be starting journey with your public cloud basically. That can be Azure or GCP or AWS or IBM or VMware or Salesforce or whatever it, or Oracle or whatever it is. Your services will be extended to public cloud. So here, every on-premises, as part of extension, every on-premises environment will get attached to the public cloud. In this case, you have to call it is hybrid cloud. Okay. And one more thing that you need to remember is the private cloud doesn't mean limited to Azure cloud for US government, Azure cloud for Germany, Azure cloud for China. Azure also, if your company wants to establish Azure cloud services in your company premises itself, that's also called private cloud also. And Azure will come to the geography location that you provided to be implemented. Azure will come to the location that you shared, and Azure will implement what kind of services you want to implement as part of this specific location of your choice in the company on-premise itself. Azure will implement a cloud for you. That's also a private cloud. And if you establish the communication or if you establish the integration between this Azure built private cloud exclusively for you and your on-premises environment, that can be also called hybrid cloud. But what exactly Azure is going to build as part of building a private cloud for you is Azure is going to use the services called Azure Stack. Okay, if Azure built Azure Stack for you in your premises as part of your demand or as part of your choice, and if you establish the integration between your Azure Stack that is built specially for you and your on-premises, that can be called as hybrid cloud. So basically, there are, as of now, 4 kind of private clouds. Those are like Azure cloud for US government, Azure cloud for Germany, Azure cloud for China, and Azure cloud for any company that is being built in the premises of the company with the service called Azure Stack. Am I clear? I just wanted to set it like your thought or your limitation. Your thought or your thinking process doesn't limit it to the private cloud in terms of the 3 clouds. Those are built specially for the 3 companies. 3 entities basically. Okay. Any questions about this one, please?
From my side, no.
Okay, thank you.
So the end of this, you said the Azure Stack. So what is the exact meaning of the Azure Stack?
It's a kind of service that's being offered by Azure, and we're going to discuss in the coming classes, Suresh, not now.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Please reference cloud deployment models, not modes. Okay. So what exactly are the basic classification of the cloud deployment models? The basic classification can be deals like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. That's it. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. And any resource in any cloud is offered as a service business model. So basically the deployment models can be, the cloud deployment models are the technical name when you talk about the business as a service business models. So are we limited to these? Are we limited to only these three deployment models? No, not at all. These are the common service models of every cloud only. But if Azure wants to provide some resource or some service as a model, then it would become like this. IDaaS, CIAS, DaaS. Other than these three, like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service, we have these three in Azure: IDaaS, CIAS, DaaS. IDaaS can be referred like identity and access management as a service, or identity and directory management as a service. So basically, what exactly the resource that we are going to deal with as part of IDaaS? Simple. Azure Active Directory is the IDaaS solution. So what exactly are the resources part of CIAS? The security resources which are being offered by Azure to implement any kind of security. And it is also one of the growing domain in the market right now. The growing is not like general growing. It's like 200 to 300% of hike if you know the components about the security and if you know the resources to be dealt in the Azure security. Basically, one of the most growing domain of the market. And DaaS, data as a service, that means not data, the resources who store the data, who analyze the data, who process the data. So data resources as a service basically. So are we limited to only this? No, not at all. There are lot of services are being introduced in Azure to be offered as a service, and every service can be called as a service model. That doesn't mean like MS SQL as a service, like MySQL as a service. No, we are not discussing as a service model should be based on the type of the resource or the kind of the resource you are using. We are discussing about the classification as a service, classification of the resources being offered as a service. Okay. So which resources falls under the category of infrastructure as a service category, platform as a service category, software as a service category? In the coming classes, we are going to discuss in detail. Why do we need to call this resource is IaaS only? Why do we need to call this resource as platform only? Why do we need to call this resource is software only? There are specific and very light difference between all these three, especially platform and software. Okay. So here are the requirement details that what exactly I need from you. First thing is dedication and personal belief. You need to believe yourself that you are gonna do this by end of the batch. That's the most important. After that, you need to have a personal email and you need to get installed VS 2019 at least. 2019 would be better. If you install the 2015 also fine, no issues. So Visual Studio 2019 should be installed, and apart from this VS Code to be installed, and Git CLI also need to be installed. Git CLI is the CLI version, GitHub Desktop is the GUI version. So if you install both, that will be better for better understanding in the initial days. But later, you can use CLI only, or you can use GitHub Desktop only. That's fine. And the other thing is that you need to get installed the at least 5 version or above of the PowerShell, basically. Once you're done with the 5.1 installation, you can install the AZ module. AZ means Azure. So when you talk about the modules that's being offered by the PowerShell for Azure is two versions basically. Azure RM, AZ. Azure RM is the old version. AZ is the latest version. Not latest, I can say. It's offered in around 2018 almost. It's been 3 years. It is introduced. In general availability, I can say it's 2 years. So you need to get install the PowerShell on your machine, and at the same time you need to get install the Azure module as well. And you are gonna create a personal account in GitHub. All of you clear about this one? If you are not sure about what to be installed after session, please take a screenshot here itself. Anyway, you are going to be provided with the recordings also. There you can take a look. No issues.
Okay.
And so, are we limited that we're gonna use only these tools? And are we limited that we're gonna use? If you're done with this requirement setup, are you done? No, not at all. The list is going to be grown in the coming days. Okay, these are very basic needs to be part of this batch. So what exactly you mean by ADO? Azure DevOps? Any wild guesses?
Yeah, by using Azure DevOps, you can plan your plan and implement
No,
and
no, no.
deploy
I'm
your.
not talking about the purpose of the Azure DevOps. ADO means what exactly it is. I mean, when you want to be part of a practical team, or when you want to expose yourself, or when you want to present yourself part of a technical team, you should. I mean, technical means a technology based team basically. You should have to remember, or you should yourself habitate to call the technical terms in daily practice basically. So, ADO means Azure DevOps Organization. ADO should not be treated as Azure DevOps. ADO means Azure DevOps Organization. It's a shortcut name for Azure DevOps Organization. Okay. The reason why I'm asking, I created a special slide for this one is from now onwards, we are not going to call completely like Azure DevOps Organization. All the discussions will be treated like ADO. Go to your ADO, configure your ADO, change this setting in your ADO, like that. So all our conversations are going to start using these shortcut names. All of it clear? ADO means Azure DevOps Organization. So let us create an account. The first ADO. What exactly do we need for this? Nothing else than a email. Okay, can somebody share the screen, please? I'll come back to the presentation later. Any volunteers?
Sir, please give me access. I don't have.
Yeah, I will do no. Make you present. Yeah, I made you presenter.
I'm unable to share my screen. I'm getting a grayed out option only.
1 minute. Let me do it once again. Yeah, I changed it. You can try. So go to dev.azure.com.
Yes, sir.
Dev.azure.com. And we need to discuss something like the limitations on the Azure DevOps are also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What? But that's going to be covered in the future classes. Please ensure that you are going to have a good bandwidth to do the live practice in the classes. The reason is I'm going to pick someone as a volunteer daily. If you want to nominate yourself, please let me know when the class starts so that I can pick you accordingly. And in parallel, I request all of you to do the parallel. I mean to do the same in parallel basically.
Yes, sir.
And as part of this batch, you are gonna having two ADOs. One ADO is for your personal use, personal practice, and one ADO
Okay,
is
sir.
for the class practice. And the ADO that will be being used as the class practice will be of the similar implementation how exactly an organization will have the real-time practice. Okay, yeah. Click on start tree. From Monday onwards, you are going to be given with the credentials that you need to use when you are part of the session. I mean, we are in the process of creating the accounts for you. So those details will be letting you know on Monday. Yeah, use your mail address that is not used at this point till date. That will be better.
Sir, can I enter my email ID?
Yeah, please. Gmail.com is fine, but if you have the outlook.com, that will be better. There is a specific reason why I'm stressing that Outlook would be preferred. I'll let you know in future, not right now. Suresh, please ensure that your personals are not getting recorded. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, click on
Yes.
continue. You can choose the region as United States. It's fine, no issue. You can mention like dev.azure.com. Suresh ADO practice. Can I expect everyone to do the same in parallel? Why should be capital? Guys, or if you wanna do practice after a couple of minutes, that's also fine. Because we are going to do this for a couple of more times. Yeah, click and continue. Let me know if anybody of you are not on the same page. You can give something like test. That's fine. Yeah, click on create project.
Can I create?
Yeah, you can.
Mani, what is the difference between creating account in Azure portal data Azure?
Creating a account in portal.azure.com will create an Azure Active Directory for you basically. Creating a account in Azure dev.azure.com will create an account for you and will create a Azure DevOps organization for you. So, in simple words, if you create an account in portal.azure.com, you are getting complete with the creation of Azure Active Directory. If you go here, you'll be done with the creation of Azure DevOps organization basically. That's it. Azure is a public cloud, whereas Azure DevOps is a service, a resource. That's it.
Okay, in real time, most of the time we are using this URL, right?
Yeah, only this URL. I mean, this ADO creation is not at all related to Azure at this point of time right now. Okay, but in the practical and in the real time, any ADO, I mean, this kind of ADO won't be created in the real time environment basically. These ADOs that we are going to create at this point of right now are just for practice purposes only. If you want to implement the real time scenarios, it won't be useful for you. I mean, it will be useful for you, but they should not be configured like this. There is a special process to be followed when you want to create the same in any kind of organization. I'll let you know all those process details and the technical details as well in the coming classes.
Fine. Yeah, thank you.
So please confirm me that all of you are done with your ADO creation or not. If you are not done, that's also fine. No worries. Okay.
Yeah,
Suresh, I'm taking over the control. I just wanted
Yes.
them to know that how to create the account. ADO, that's it. Okay. Keep it logged in. I'll come back to you.
Just while creating this, we need to select the public or private. Just I missed that step while just creating the blog.
I hope you're talking about the project and you can check the private.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So now we're done with the Azure DevOps organization account. ADO creation, right? What next? So obviously, when you want to create a Azure DevOps project, in the initial days, you need nothing. Nothing you need. Like you can select the public or you can select the private, anything. But you need to know and you need to get experience in such a way, like in future, when you're part of the some team, if somebody asks you to create a project, you are supposed to ask or you are supposed to meet some kind of checklist basically. So what exactly are the checklists that you need to do before you're going to create any organization or before you're going to create any project?
Manikanta, your voice is breaking.
For you only or everybody?
I
Guys,
don't
please
know.
confirm.
Present me only.
Yeah,
For
I
me,
think
it's
so.
fine, Mani.
For us, it's okay.
Okay, fine. I mean, if everybody is of you is facing the same kind of issue, that let me know please. Okay, so the thing that you need to remember is
No, it's fine.
what exactly is the checklist that you need to perform before creating any ADO in future and any ADO project as well. Okay, And please take a notepad and note down the URL of your Azure DevOps organization, please, if you are done with the creation. So these are the URLs that to be remembered for life. The portal URL is portal.azure.com. DevOps URL is dev.azure.com. And the ideal URLs, if somebody asks you what is the ADO URL of your ADO, then you need to select dev.azure.com / your ADO name. If somebody asks you about project, you can simply mention like this.
Yes, sorry, Mani, 1 second, Mani. I mean, you mentioned this one, right? Just now you told one point.
Which one?
Yeah, I mean, you told me ADO and the ADO project, right? ADO in the user ID is there, right? dev.azure.com. What is the username we have provided as the ADO name, right?
No. That is your ADO login username. The ADO name is, when Suresh is creating, I asked Suresh to mention like dev.azure.com / Suresh ADO practice. That Suresh ADO practice is the ADO name. All of it clear?
Just now I pinged in
I'll
the window, Manikanta.
Sorry?
Yeah, just now in the chat window, I have pinged one URL. Can you open that one once?
1 minute. Yeah, here Anil Kumar Dev PS 1970 is the ADO name. Test project is the project name.
Okay, maybe sometimes we are asked the silly questions, Mani, because I mean, new for me, right?
That's completely fine. That is completely
Okay.
fine. I mean, your
Okay.
questions might have helped someone. Don't worry.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. Okay, till 1987 is the ADO, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Mani. Okay.
Yeah. So this is about the project URL. I mean, the reason why I'm telling all this is, when you want to expose yourself as an experienced person in the Azure DevOps, these are very common and minute things that you need to be remembered, and that you will be asked in the interview as well. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. So you might be interested to know like what kind of questions that you'll be getting as part of the ADO initial interview. The simple questions are like, what are the parameters of the checklist that you need to do when you want to go to create a ADO, or when you want to go to create a project in the ADO? What kind of considerations that you do? What kind of checklist that you do? After all this, the question will be like, what are the limitations of the ADO and what are the limitations of the project? I mean, all these questions will be answered in the coming classes, but I'm just letting you know about the kind of category of the questions that you're going to get as part of ADO interview, basically. And these questions will arrive for you if you are going to try for 1 year of experience only. If you are proposing yourself, or if you're nominating yourself as the most experienced in the ADO, these basic questions won't arrive for you. The chances are less. Okay. So what exactly are the ADO services then? And what exactly are the resources that you need to aware when you are talking about ADO? If you know all these 9 services, at least into the intermediate level, what do you need to do, where you need to do, how you need to do, when you need to do, why you need to do, then you are said to be a good experienced candidate in the ADO. And trust me and believe me, each and every service is a ocean, I can say. So the services for introduction is like overview, Azure boards, Azure repos, Azure pipelines, Azure test plans, Azure artifacts. Other than these, this can be called like Azure boards, repos, pipelines, test plans, and artifacts. Can be called as services. At the same time, can be called as components because each and every service is going to have components. Okay, and the most important thing for any Azure DevOps engineer is to focus on the Azure boards, repos, pipelines, and test plans and artifacts. The Azure administrator will focus on the overview, organization settings, project settings, and user settings. All of you clear? Now we have the component tour actually. So anybody wants to share the screen to discuss about the journey that we are going to do about the component tour of ADO and ADO project and user profile?
Yeah, I will share my
Yes, sir.
screen. Morning.
Suresh, I will come back to you later. Anil, you can do.
Yeah, okay. Can you provide the access?
Yeah, I'm giving the parent access for you. Give me a minute, please. Yeah, now you are the parent.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Don't worry, the classes are going to be occupied all of your time, which is scheduled for 1.5 hours in the coming days. For the initial days, we're just trying to give the basic way of understanding in the strong manner. That's it.
Okay, all of you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see Anil. What about the
Yeah,
others?
okay.
And before going to the discussion about this,
Yes,
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 sir.
I can see.
would like to check with others. Like, guys, can you confirm like whether you're done with the creation of the ADO or not as of now?
Yes.
Don't worry, if you're not done with the ADO creation by this time, you can get it ready by tomorrow. Don't worry. Okay, and if you see on the top line, you can see Azure DevOps, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. That is the root of the, that is the place where you can find the number of Azure DevOps organizations that is created for your ID, or the number of Azure DevOps organizations that is that you are member of basically. Okay. Can you click on Anil Kumar DevOps 1987 please once in the right side? Yeah. Okay. And this is called hierarchy. Now click on the test project. Click on the test project. Okay. Now you can see like Anil Kumar DevOps 1987 test project overview summary. This place is called hierarchy. And if you click on the boards please in the left.
Yeah, sure.
So the hierarchy values will get changed, right? When you are in the overview, after the project name will be overview, and when in the boards, it will be boards basically. If you click the repos, it will be repos. So the reason why I'm telling this location is that is the place where you will be able to find the information of the hierarchy that you are. All of you clear about the hierarchy? If somebody asks you where exactly you are and on which service you are working right now,
Yeah,
in
I
that
mean,
case, you need to answer about this. Okay, and yeah, now click on the Anil Kumar DevOps 1987 please. on top in the hierarchy. Now click on a new organization. You can continue. You can continue, please. Okay. Now you can give any name like Anil DevOps practice or Anil ADO practice, whatever the name you want to give. Anil, you can go on mute. I think some sound is from your side.
Yeah.
You can go on mute. You can just execute my words. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, you can pick any region. That's not a big deal. So the question that you should arrive at this point of time in your mind is, how many number of ADOs can a person create in free? You can give any name. That's fine. As per okay, and go to the once again ADO in the hierarchy. ADO in the hierarchy. That means Anil practice. That's fine. Okay, keep creating organizations. All of you, you can make a question for yourself like, what is the number of ADOs that a person can create in free? Guys, in parallel, you are also requested to create Azure DevOps organizations. Anybody got stuck anywhere, or all of you are on the same page?
We created the projects, total 3.
No, I'm not talking about the project creation. I'm talking about the
Organization,
ADO.
sorry.
Maybe showing about project.
You can give name. You can give any name. That's right. So, I mean, I can give the questions, and if you want to note down right away, I can tell you some questions. If anybody is interested, else I can give the question bank in the later times. Like what exactly are the questions we are going to get. At this point of time, the questions like how many number of ADOs that you can create in free of Azure DevOps. The next question is how many number of projects that you can create for a free for a ADO. The next question is what exactly is the checklist that you need to follow when you're creating a ADO, and what exactly is the checklist that you need to follow when you're creating a ADO project. All of you clear with the 4 questions, please? At least questions, not answers.
Yeah, how many projects can be created in ADO, and how many ADOs can be created in this, and what are the checklist needs in this? Is it right?
Yes, please. That's true. Okay. Yeah, you can keep on creating in parallel, maybe for tomorrow. Okay. And there is a request from the institute like that. You need to drop your details, maybe your mobile number or your email. I mean, well, mobile number and email ID to the organization of the batch, please. I mean, you don't need to push your details for public. You can send your details to the organizers when you're sending the message.
Yeah, shall I create like this number of times money? I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
you can create as many as number of ADOs that you want to create. The reason why I'm asking to do this practice is the each time that you change the ADO here, the URL gets changed for that observation.
Mani, there is limitation on creating the organization in free tier as well.
Shiva, we are losing your voice.
Is it audible now?
Somewhat, yeah.
So there is no limitation actually. We can create a number of Azure DevOps organizations. The free tier.
Are you sure?
For 300 is the limit.
Can you try creating one more ADO, please, Anil? ADO, yeah. That's fine. Leave the regular names. Maybe you don't need to change every time. I mean, I hope you got an idea like the regular classes that we're going to have like 30 to 40 minutes of time discussion and other 40 minutes will be in practice. Okay, it's for information. And in the coming days, the discussion time might decrease, the practice time may increase according to the agenda that we have for the day. And in practical and in the real-time environment, you can create n number of ADOs. There is no limitation. But I just wanted you to explore for the free account basically. That's it. You can create another one, please. I hope you are able to identify and you are able to observe that whenever the ADO URL gets changed, I mean, whenever you are changing the ADO that you are going to use, the ADO URL is getting changed, right? The organization name is already there. So the next question is the name that you are going to use for any ADO is unique or not?
Yes.
It's unique.
Unique to your account.
Sorry, I lost your voice, Shiva, I think.
Yeah.
You
It's a
unique only.
Money because see, for example, Anil has creating the one ADO, right? That can be created in my account, but it's not same for his account again.
So Shravan, can you try
Same for
creating?
account.
Yeah, can you try creating the ADO like Anil Kumar Khan, like whatever is getting displayed in the screen right now, or else you can paste the URL in the chat, Anil,
Okay.
so that you'll be getting more practically.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
possible, money, because it is a universal right. I mean,
Exactly.
check.
So the answer for this here is you cannot create a name that's already used by someone else for ADO, but the project name that you can create n number of times in any ADO. I mean, in ADO you cannot create the project with the same name, but in the Anil Kumar Khan, you have created Anil Kumar Khan project, and in the Anil practice also you can create Anil Kumar Khan project with the same name. The project name can be n number of times used in any ADO, but the name for that you are going to give for ADO is unique. Like in the Azure portal, you can create test RG. I mean, Anil can create, Shravan can create, Shiva can create. But the reason is the scope of the resource group is limited to Azure Active Directory and Azure subscription. In the same
I
way,
tried
the
to
scope
create
of the
on
name,
Suresh.
yeah, the
It's
scope of
showing
the
already
name,
taken.
yes, Shravan, I got it. The scope of the name that you are going to give at the project can be created in multiple organizations, but you cannot use the ADO name that's been used by someone else at this point of time. Okay? Then the question should be arise like, what is the scope of the ADO and what is the scope of the ADO project? The answer is like, the scope of the ADO project is limited to ADO level only, and the scope of the AD1 is limited to dev.azure.com. That means root directory of the Azure DevOps. Dev.azure.com is called as the root directory of the Azure DevOps. Okay. So you can make a note like, what is the root directory of the Azure DevOps? The answer is like dev.azure.com.
Another doubt of money. I mean, is there any naming conventions will be there? I mean, we need to use the camel notation or small and
Yeah. We have, I mean, those comes under the checklist actually. I told you like,
okay.
the checklist you need to be followed for ADO creation. The checklist you need to be followed for ADO product creation, right? So all those
Yes, yes.
considerations comes under the checklist basically.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody can note the questions, they can note, and you can answer for one session. I mean, we can especially conclude a session or conduct a session for questionnaires only, but for bi-weekly or tri-weekly. Okay, no worries. Meanwhile, I'm also preparing a question bank for you for your interview purpose, and those will be shared. Don't worry. I hope all of you are on the same page. Anybody is lagging behind the line?
Mani, one question, Mani.
Yes, sure.
What are the scenarios which we can create the different ADOs in the same organization?
Suppose you are part of an enterprise. Okay, let us take the Infosys. the Infosys will have different functionalities like HR department, CS department, and projects management, and project administration, project development, and different functionalities and different views, right? So when you want to don't allow, or when you want to create when you want to create a project for any isolation category, the common grounds can be used for single ADO. But when the company wants to establish, or when a company wants to create specially isolated access and isolated management of the services of any particular BU or any particular department, then you are going to create a different ADO for them. It is like creating a subnet, then act in the VNet scope that you define. That's it, nothing else. If there is no dependency, if I answer like this, you might get a question like, why do you need to create a different ADO when we can set up the limitation in the project itself? Suppose you're part of project 1 and somebody is part of project 2. In these cases also, you won't be getting any kind of access enabled for the members of the project 2 unless until they're part of the organization level access members. Okay.
Okay.
But there are some real-time limitations. There are some real-time challenges. Why do we need to go for a special ADO than the existing ADO for any kind of purpose? Those will be discussed in the coming classes, not at this time, please. We do have some checklist, and that's why we need to follow some checklist. Basically, the checklist is based on the requirements of the project. That's it.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, anybody have any questions for this, please?
So do we have any limitations for ADO, bro? Or like in creating the free account?
That's what I want you
We
to
can create a
explore.
number of ADOs, right?
The answer is with you only, but not a number.
Okay, but the project name should be unique. Like the ADO name should be unique.
Exactly. Don't say project name, okay? Yeah. The
Yeah.
ADO name should be unique.
Okay.
Okay. So, Anil, you can go to your choice of ADO so that we can explore more as we have less time to complete. Okay. The next thing that you need to remember is the options that are available for ADO is different the options that are available for the project, basically. Okay. So the conclusion here is you can create n number of projects in an ADO and you cannot use the same name for ADO that is already used by someone else or by you also. Okay. Yeah. Now you can click on the Anil Kumar project, please. So you are going to see here the hierarchy, like where exactly currently you are. The top one is called hierarchy, Azure DevOps resource hierarchy, that is called. Okay. So in the hierarchy, you can see the ADO name, the project name, and the service that you're using right now, and the action page that you're going to take something. Like Anil Kumar Khan is the ADO name. Anil Kumar Khan project is the ADO project name. Overview is the service that you're working right now, and summary is the page that you're going to take action something. Am I clear? All of you? So we have a differentiation for each and every service to discuss in detail, basically. So here you can see 6 services are being offered. Those are like overview, boards, repos, pipelines, test plans, artifacts, right? Can you click on boards, please, Anil? Now click on the repos. Okay, so in the similar way you can find the services, but the question now is, obviously you want to do something in the ADO project or ADO organization. Then the question that is arrived for you is, who is the owner of the ADO project, or who is the owner of the ADO? So to find that, in the left side of the bottom you can click on the project settings. Click on the project settings, please. Yep. So in the overview you can see the administrator of the project. In the overview project details you can see. Yep. Okay, so in the similar way, if you want to find the owner for the ADO, then go back to the ADO, please, and then go back to the organization settings in the left down. Organization owner is different, project administrator is different. Organization owner is common for every project, whereas administrator for project is changes according to the project. So if you want to do any kind of changes at the organization level, you need to have proper permissions at the organization level. But if you want to do any changes at the project level, that is enough if you are having the proper permissions at the project level. Okay. Now go to the ADO once again, please. This is called ADO setting space, organization setting space. Okay, now go to project, please. Now go to project settings, please. Wait. I mean, before going to there, you can see here overview, boards, repos, pipelines, test plans, artifacts, right? So let us do something practically. Go to the project settings, please. You can disable the, in the down you can see Azure DevOps services, right? In the right side you can scroll down, scroll down. Okay, you can disable the repos and test plans. Yep, test plans as well. Okay, now go back to your project. In the hierarchy, click on project. That's enough. In the hierarchy. No, hierarchy. Right side. The top right. Right, little bit. That is ADO. Hierarchy. Yeah, click on the project. I mean, you don't need to go ADO and then go to project. You can directly click on the project and you will directly redirect it to the project. Okay. The reason why I have asked you to disable the repos and test plans is like that. Some project may use GitHub as the repository. Some project may use like SVN or Mercula or different repositories that we have. So those can be used. In that case, if you don't want to use, I don't want you to enable the Azure repos for the users. So if somebody asks you to how to disable the repos service for this project and how to disable the test plans, I hope now you guys got an option and you guys got an understanding that how to disable or enable an ADO service in the project, right? I mean, all these activities will be carried out by the Azure DevOps administrator. Hope I'm clear.
Yes, Mani.
Any questions as of now?
Sorry, Mani.
Any questions as of now, guys?
From my side, as per now, it's
No questions.
Okay. So you can go to the, can you open the new tab, please? New tab. That's fine. type status.dev.azure.com, status.dev.azure.com. Okay, so go back to the first tab, please. So here we discussed like boards, pipelines, repos, test plans, artifacts as the services. These are called ADO services, and the overview, organization settings, and user profile settings, the project settings, all these comes under the core services basically. Okay, whatever I told you, like organization management, project management, user management, overview, all these comes under the core services. So the boards, pipelines, repos, artifacts, test plans are the ADO services. The reason why I ask you to go to the second tab, status.dev.azure.com, is if in case you are part of any project in future or right now, if something is not working as expected, which is worked already couple of times, or which you are trying to make it happen for the first time, always it is recommended to go to this page and verify whether the services are available in green or any kind of challenge is thereby degraded or unhealthy or advisory status. Okay, and any kind of challenges that currently being faced by Microsoft Azure DevOps, those will be listed in the active events. Am I clear about this page, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now go back to the first page, please. Now in the right side top corner, click on the A, please. So this is the username and this is the account that used to log into this profile. This account basically. So if you click on the My Microsoft account, click on the My Microsoft account, please. So this is your Microsoft profile basically. Okay. Okay, this is fine. Close this URL, please. This is Microsoft profile. That's fine. There is another URL that you need to remember. Can you go to new tab, please, and type like aex.dev.azure.com. aex.dev.azure.com. So if you go to first tab, go to the first tab, please. So if you go to first tab, can you click on the ADO? You can see 4 organizations here and one more, right? But if you go to third tab, you can see all the available projects that you're part of. All the available ADOs that you're part of. So the number of ADOs that you're part of, you can see here directly. Whereas in the first tab, you can see 4 only in the top, and the other one will be listed like 2 more, 3 more, 5 more, 10 more, if it is. This is called user profile of the Azure DevOps, whereas the first one is called Azure DevOps organization link. And this is also one more URL that you need to remember for life. If somebody asks you, how do I find which part of Azure DevOps organizations that you are part of? The reason why I am taking class on this URLs is it is most important to know the basic and minute observations that you are working on any specific tool or technology. Am I clear, guys?
I mean, the meaning of this one is in how many projects we are.
How many part of organizations you are, not project. If you expand each and every organization, you will be listed down with the projects basically.
Okay, maybe organization can have multiple projects as per our discussion.
Yeah, obviously. Right now you are creating one organization with one project, but
Yeah.
in my company that where I'm working right now, my organization, I have like almost like 15 to 20 organizations, and you have each and every organization will have like at least like 50 to 60 projects for each and every organization. So I cannot see the list of organizations that I'm part of in the first tab, but I can see the list of organizations that I'm part of. I can see in this page. So this is one of the pages that you need to remember and you need to have an idea of actually. All of you clear about these three different URLs? Please confirm.
Yeah, first one is as usual DevOps dev.azure.com, another one is status, and another one is AEX, right? Three things, three URLs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now go to the ADO please and go to the organization settings. The one more thing that I need to tell you is here. Okay, and open the duplicate the tab please. Duplicate the tab. And here click on the ADO and go to project and then go to project settings. Okay, yeah, now go to the first tab. This is called organization settings, whereas the settings page, the settings listed in the organization settings are different than the settings listed in the project settings. Okay, so here you can do the settings like general, security, boards, repos, pipelines, artifacts. Yes, scroll down please. Right, go to the second tab and verify what exactly are the headers of the settings that you have. General, boards, pipelines, artifacts, tests also. And the list of options available in each and every root category is different for project and is different for organization. You can compare. Maybe a little a set of properties might common, but the most of them are different. And there is a thumb rule like if you are the organization owner, you can be the owner of the any project. But if you are the owner of the project, you don't need to be owner of the organization. That's a basic rule. And whatever the actions that you are going to, 1 minute. And whatever the actions that you are going to take or implement at the project settings level, or the profile settings level, or the user settings level, or the organization settings level, will be under the scope of the work of Azure DevOps Administrator. All these activities that you are going to be carried out in these profile settings are the kind of settings that you have won't be come under the scope of the work of the Azure DevOps engineer. All these activities comes under the scope of the Azure DevOps administrator. You need to have the best level of understanding between what activities are being carried out by an Azure DevOps administrator and Azure DevOps engineer. Okay, yeah, please go with the question. Suresh.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, just now I checked my project administrator name and organization administrator name. Both will be same only.
No. See, now you have created AD1, you have created the project. That's why you are the administrator. You can create the project and you can make someone as the administrator for that project. That's what I told.
Okay.
When you are the administrator of the
Okay.
organization, you'll be the obviously administrator of the project. But when you are the administrator of the project, you don't need to be a administrator of the organization, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Vice versa not possible.
Vice versa not possible, but the additional way it's possible. And the next question that will be arising in your mind is, how many number of administrators can an organization have? I mean, owners. In the same way, how many number of administrators a project can have?
So based upon subscription only, I can say 5 for free subscription.
I'm not talking about number of users that will have licenses. I'm talking about administrators that a project can have. Suresh. I mean,
Yeah,
all those
maximum,
questions will be
No
discussed
limit.
during the more details actually. But I'm just giving
yeah,
a heads
limitation
up.
is not there. Limitation is not there money, but most probably they will give for 3 to 4 people. Why I am saying like this is, suppose maybe one person will be on the leave. Maybe as per my knowledge, if you need to provide any permissions, another person able to provide the permissions, I think.
I mean, that's true, but all the discussions and the conclusions will be ended up in the coming classes as a practical approach.
Okay.
Yeah, we are done for the day. If any questions, you can discuss.
Yeah, and I mean, if you